Thank you for tuning into the Sistas Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M.
Hi, I'm your co-host, Asia Carroll. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
And today we have Flip Man, Mr. Taylor, in the building today on the Sistas Talk podcast. Thank you so much for giving us a portion of your time tonight.
No problem at all. Glad you all invited me.
Definitely. So for a lot of people who don't know who the Flip Man is, this guy flips homes. He educates the community on his YouTube channel. So make sure you go check him out. It's Ask Flip Man. And he has so many different people that he interviews quite often. They give a lot of helpful tips, a lot of helpful advice, all for free on his YouTube channel. So make sure you go subscribe. And so without further ado, Flip Man, please tell everybody who you are and where you're from.
All right. My name is actually Ty Taylor, short for Tyrone Taylor. But I go by the Flip Man. It's a name that I guess I've been branding for quite a while through my YouTube channel, mainly on a lot of the other social media platforms. But I'm located in Birmingham, Alabama, and what I do, well, number one, I'm an entrepreneur first, but real estate is the way that I've been able to make any significant amount of money over time. But my primary focus on what I do and what I teach people for free on my YouTube channel is the method of wholesaling real estate. And that's basically being able to put real estate deals together, whether you have $1 in the bank or 10 million, whether you have a 450 credit score or 850 credit score, it really doesn't matter. It's all about being able to find great deals, placing those great deals under contract with the owner, and you're basically flipping that contract to cash buyers, and you can just repeat that process over and over again, and nothing prevents you from have as many deals going on at once. I started doing this back in 2003. As far as me actually doing it, I started sharing my knowledge, starting through YouTube back in 2008, August of 2008. Right now, approaching about 600 videos on my YouTube channel. If you did a search on YouTube for Flip Man, you'll see my logo. You can see it in the back here, the character with the guy holding the cash. And it's there for anyone to take advantage of, which many people have taken advantage of that information. And I've never even spoken to them. And some of them, they reach back out to me to let me know thank you. And I asked them would they be interested in sharing their story. So I have quite a few interviews where people have made, I just started to throw out numbers, 18,000, 30,000, 70,000. Well, one guy said 400,000 in 6 months. Just those numbers just all over the place or whatever. And these are just regular people that took some information that I provided, which is nothing I invented by no means. It's just some old information. Some of the tools and technology out there makes it a little easier to do the business. It's not going to do the business for you, but those tools can make it easier to do the business. And, nothing says that anyone that's watching this can't do the same and change their financial situation forever. Trust me, I'm no smarter than you are. The only thing that may be a little different about me is that I'll take action. That's the difference. So I don't know how detailed you all want me to get into my background.
Look, as detailed as you want to get.
Well, as far as how I got started, I guess how detailed, because that's somewhat of a drawn out story or whatever. But if you want me to go there, I can build up to the actual process itself. And I guess people can ask questions from there. So.
Absolutely. Looks like people are afraid to ask questions. So I'm sure they'll start trickling in later on. I think a lot of people freeze up when we talk about money, when we talk about real estate, especially if they don't have the background in it. I think that kind of deters people from really following their dreams. So what's your advice for people who want to flip houses, but they don't even know where to start?
Well, I think that the biggest issue, no different than when I got started, when people hear the term flip houses, they think about the HGTV shows or whatever. And this person may have spent $200,000 to buy the house, put another 150 in, and then sold it for, I don't know, 500,000, made $100 or plus $1,000. or whatever. But yeah, you do need money and or credit to be able to pull those type of transactions off. But those individuals that you see on HGTV, those would actually be my customers as a wholesaler. Just say that example I just gave you, the house they paid 200 for. I may have gotten it on a contract for 170 and wholesaled it to them for the 200, and I got the difference of $30,000. Well, you say, well, they made 100, blah blah blah. Okay, but I made 30, and it only probably cost me $100 to make that 30,000, right? So if you do the return on investment plus the risk that I had involved plus the reward that I received, it's no comparison, and anyone can do that. That's the difference. Now that's what I mean when I say your cash or credit literally doesn't matter. Well, I get you say, well, why would they need you? Well, you found the deal first and you tied it up on the contract. So now they have to come through you, is what I call a get out of the way fee, in order to take advantage of that deal that they were able to make 100 grand off of. But you made 30, that's nothing to sneeze at, and you only spent $100. So they spent 200 to make 100. You spend 100 to make 30. You tell me which one is the better deal or whatever. So $100 now. When I say 100, you spend $100 to make 30, and they spent 200 to make 100. You tell me which one is the better deal.
Right.
Who made money, but who had the lowest risk, and how many of those can I have going on at once? Say if I had 5 of those going on at once, all at $100, I'm only out of 500. In order for him to have 5 of those going on, he has to have 1 million invested.
Right.
So again, you tell me which one is easier to get into. So that's wholesaling real estate. This is nothing I'm blowing smoke. This is as real as it get. People make a lot of money doing this all over the country. If this is your first time hearing about this, dive into my channel. It can get a lot more detailed, and you don't actually just have to hear from me. There are plenty of others out there that give give some of the information away. I don't think anyone gives as much information away as I do for free, which I give it all away on my YouTube channel. So again, I can start from any point on this. It just depends. You guys may have questions, and we'll let the questions flow in from your audience or whatever. So
yeah. So far, people just saying hello. They just like, wow, Flip Man's on here. So anyway, so like, say for instance, you're looking for houses. I mentioned behind the scenes. What about those houses that are out there that are foreclosed? How do you approach a situation like that? Do you ever tamper with those?
Well, okay. When people hear the term foreclosure, right, they automatically think, well, this is what I think they think. They automatically think it's a secret. No. And they automatically think it's a great deal. No. As I was explaining, the people that you see on HGTV or whatever, those are normally my customers. Those are cash and buyers or investors. They are bombarded with those properties. Whenever a property is listed for sale as a foreclosure, a lender, a bank, or whoever foreclosing that property now owns it, they put it back on the market through real estate agents. So now it's advertised to the world on Zillow and Realtor.com, Trulia, HomeSnap, Homes.com. So it's not like you're finding something that pretty much all the real players in your market are not being bombarded from multiple agents. Because what agents are telling you, say, well, I can send you some properties, blah, 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 that you can look at that are great deals, but they're not doing anything that you can't do yourself. All the stuff that they're sending you is already on Zillow. Zillow is free. Mm-hmm. That's basically the Google for real estate when it comes to residential. This is not 1990. They got this thing they call the internet, right? And all of that stuff is out there available to whoever wants to use it, if you know how to use it. Not saying you can't wholesale a foreclosure. It is possible if these things are in place. Number one, the price that they probably start at on it, that's not going to be a price that is going to probably work for you as a wholesaler. So you're going to have to negotiate that down. One of the issues is, for a lot of people, they don't understand the process of dealing with a real estate agent, because an agent is normally going to want a minimum of $500 down in earnest money deposit. That's basically like a deposit to show you that you're serious. But normally they're going to want $1,000. For $1,000 is a lot of money for a lot of people or whatever. And then they're going to want proof of funds to show that you can actually pay for it. Okay, that could be another hurdle for others. Then you're going to have to, if all of that works, then you're going to have a buyer, what I call a lazy buyer, because you haven't found anything that they could have done themselves. The reason as a wholesaler that we're important or we have an opportunity to make money because we generate leads that no one else knows about, and we bring it to the table because we target people that are not actively trying to sell their piece of real estate until they see a message from us that says we buy houses. That's why you see those signs on the street that say we buy houses. Guess what? They work. That's why you see them. Or they may receive a letter, or as one of you all mentioned, you receive a call, a text message, a voicemail dropped into your voicemail. They call that ringless voicemail. Or you may get a broadcast, just like you when so I know all of us have got what they call those robocalls where you say the new healthcare bill, going now. We do the same thing with houses. Hey, you still selling that house? We're trying to buy houses in that zip code 35206 right now. We bought 2 last week. We need to buy 2 more or whatever. Please press 1 if you're interested in selling the property that you own in that zip code or any zip code, something like that. So we do a lot of marketing because, again, the reason that we have an opportunity to make money is because we find a great deal that we tie up on the contract, and then we make it available to investors that are looking for deals. And they're willing to pay 4, 5, sometimes even 6 figures for us to just move out of the way of the deal, basically buying the contract so they can take advantage of it and do whatever they want to do with it. So,
man, come on.
That's something. Now, do you need to get a license, or is there any type of school that you need to go to in order to learn how to wholesale houses?
As of today, the only states that require a real estate license, like a realtor, a broker, or whatever, is the state of Illinois requires you to have a broker's license, and the state of Kansas requires that you have a real estate license as an agent. Now, the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they require that you have what they call a wholesaler's license, but there's no test required, whereas in the other 2, Kansas and Illinois, they require you to take the normal realtor's test or whatever. So more in Philadelphia, it's more like getting a business license. It only costs a few $100s doing. They just started that the beginning of this year. So that's really not a hurdle in a sense. None of them are a hurdle or whatever, because if it were me, if I was living in one of those states, Illinois or Kansas, being that I probably couldn't pass the test, what I would do, and there are a lot of struggling brokers / real estate agents out there, I would partner with one of them. We create an agency, a marketing agency or a marketing firm, and each property that we put under contract, what I would do is go buy a $12 domain name, website name, www.123mainstreet.com, whatever the name of the street is. Build a free website on Wix or Weebly.com. Take pictures of the property, video, put it on there. We close on the deal. Say we make $15,000. I would sell her or sell that agent. I said her, him. My half of the deal of $15,000 for $7,500. I would get paid. That's how I would do it if I was one of those states or whatever. Agents buy services and products all the time. You can sell a website for whatever you want to. They sell in the millions. So that's what I would do.
We have some questions here. So how do you go about looking for properties? This is from Basim.
Well, I could let me just give you something, I guess the inexpensive to free way of doing it to what we sometimes spend, to generate leads. Basically what you're talking about, sir, is you're talking about generating leads. All right. So we call it this thing we call driving for dollars. That's basically you get in your car and you go out and you drive looking for vacant houses that appear to be vacant. All right. When you identify those properties, you make a list. You put that you note the address, whether it's in your phone or on a tablet or whatever. And the other thing you should be looking for is houses that are for rent. But what you're looking for is those red or white, orange and black and white generic signs that they may have bought from Walmart, Home Depot, or Lowe's. because those could possibly be the owner in most cases when they put out that type of signage, and not an actual property management company or a real estate agent that's managing the property for the actual owner, because you want to get to the decision maker as much as possible. Like, well, you say, why would you call them? Well, the largest group of individuals that are going to be motivated to sell a piece of real estate are going to be tired landlords. They're tired of people not paying them. They're tired of having to go fix toilets that are stopped up and so on or whatever. And so when you reach out to that individual, you would say, hi, I'm calling about your property at 123 Main Street. Is it still for rent? It doesn't matter whether they say yes or no. So your follow-up would be, well, I'm really not calling about renting the property. I'm actually calling about buying the property. Would you be interested in selling it? If they say yes, you would go ahead and collect the information needed to evaluate the properties. Those things would be, obviously, you have the address already. You probably want to know what their name is. And you would want to know the number of bedrooms, the bath. Is it actually rented or vacant? How is it heated and cooled? The age of the roof? Are there any unpaid taxes, mortgages, or liens? In their opinion, what's the overall condition of the property? And then you would ask them the magic question. Well, you would also ask me, I know I'm calling you, but if you would consider selling it, why would you sell it? You know, you're just trying to build some type of rapport and also get what the real motivation may be outside of, they're just tired of being a landlord for that, maybe just that particular property that they own. So go through all of that. Then you ask them the magic question, paying all cash and closing quickly. What is the least amount you'll accept for it? As is. And you wait on a response, regardless of what they say, whether it's a price that'll work for you or not. You follow up with say, is that the best you can do? And you go through that flow. But so you're looking for vacant houses, you're looking for properties that are for rent, obviously properties that are for sale by owner, because they are actually trying to sell it and it says for sale by owner. You never know or whatever. And so that's a free, inexpensive. That's only going to cost you gas money, right? Now, one of the faster ways, well, I don't know if it's fast, one of the more free way, I guess the free way to do it is if you go out and somewhat build a buyer's list first. They can only be 3, 4, 5 buyers. And what you also can do, a lot of people do this, is that they wholesale other wholesalers' properties. And the only way you could do that is that you have buyers ready to go, for whatever particular area of market or price range you're trying to deal in. The largest wholesalers in the country, the company's name is Keegley, and I'm pretty good friends with one of the owners. They do over 1,000 properties per year, right? But they do it in several markets. But the reason that they can do that is because they don't do any marketing per se. They have just built a network with other wholesalers in different cities all around the country, but they have just an unbelievable buyers list ready to go. So that's why they are able to pull off those type of numbers or whatever. But again, but anyone can do that as far as getting into the business. You build a small list of buyers, and then you just feed the wholesalers that are trying to wholesale property. Then you all just split whatever's made on the deal or whatever you all negotiate. So those are some free ways to actually find the properties. But a lot of us, what we do, the signs that I was mentioning before, the We Buy Houses signs that you see on the street, we call those bandit signs. Direct mail, that's postcards or yellow letters, what we call them. Cold calling, text messaging, ringless voicemail, voice broadcast, that's the robocalls, Google AdWords, Facebook ads. That's going to be probably the gambit on different ways to generate. But some of those cost a lot more than others. The bandit sign thing, the signs you see on the street, you're talking $300 to $500. You could put a text messaging campaign together for around $500 to start. The cold calling, you could probably get that going for around $200 to $300. What else? Now, when you get into Google AdWords and Facebook ads, then you're talking in the thousands. Also with the direct mail, you're talking in the thousands also. But so it is some options there where you can do it for a few $100, from free to a few $100 to the thousands or whatever. But that's just scaling up to do more deals or whatever, which normally justify one deal normally justify whatever you're doing for the most part. So
it sounds like it, man. That's some good advice right there. So we have Miss Ann who's asking, how do you find foreclosed properties?
Well, foreclosures are not like difficult to find. If you just go to Zillow and use the filters there for whatever market you're targeting, whether it's a zip code or a particular city. If you put in, if you go to the for sale section of it and select, it has an actual section there that says foreclosures, and it'll pull them up. You know, that's simple. It's not hard to find foreclosures in pretty much any market or whatever. And again, they're going to be listed with agents, so just you have to go through them to make your offers or whatever. So now, part of understanding what is a great deal is what we call ARV. It's short. It's an acronym for after repair value, meaning you have to know what the house will appraise for in excellent condition. So even if you're looking at a foreclosure or any property that's for sale or someone's trying to sell you a property, you have to backdoor it from the perspective of what will it be worth once the money is put into it to make it basically look brand new. All right. Once you determine that, there's a formula you can use to determine if you have an actual opportunity or not. But to answer a question, you just go to Zillow to find foreclosure. It's not, like I said, it's not a secret or anything.
So, where do you find buyers? And when you do find buyers, like how do you organize the buyers and to find the sellers?
Okay. Well, as far as finding buyers for your deals, the easiest way to find buyers is to keep great deals, because what you'll do is you'll market those deals in places like Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, LinkedIn groups, Craigslist, through other wholesalers, RIA groups. That acronym is REIA, which means Real Estate Investment Associations. Those are your local groups. With coronavirus, I'm sure a lot of people were not meeting, but they probably were still doing their things online or whatever. Auctions, you'll go to auctions and pass out your business card and network with individuals there, because you have to have cash at auctions to be able to buy. Just doing a simple search on Google, sell my house fast, and the name of whatever city. Those first 2-3 pages of results are going to normally be just real and serious buyers as far as wholesalers, and some actual cash buyers will be advertising there also, because it's so expensive. You have to be dead serious about it and then actually putting deals together. Through real estate agents, you do have some agents that deal with investors. That could be an option also. So those are going to be some of the places that you will find actual cash buyers, and to assist in building your cash buyers list. It's basically just keeping great deals, because what will happen is that if you had a great deal and you market it in 2 or 3 of those places, you may have 20 people to call you interested in buying it, but you can only sell it to one person. But those other 19, you want to collect their information for future deals. When I say their information, obviously their name, contact information, phone number, what email, what areas do they buy in, how many do they buy per month, um, what price range, what level, what condition level, what repair level do they like to deal with. Um, that normally, helps build your list. And so whenever you get a deal, you go through and you see who you need to reach out to, because it fits, what they do as their buying criteria.
That's awesome.
Hoping
So
all this is making sense. I hope I'm not using terms and stuff that's not.
no. Actually, I learned about that. We call it ARV. I learned about that on your channel.
Okay.
I never heard of that term before until I watched your episodes talking about it. I wrote it down, took notes and everything. So this is good stuff. We have Miss Kathy. She says POFBCLMT199 contractors, but must know prices, so don't get upcharged out of profit. I have no idea what those acronyms are. Do you know?
I know what the POF is. I'm assuming proof of funds. I'm assuming. I'm not sure what the other stuff is. Contracted, but must know prices, so don't get upcharged out of profit. I guess she's referring to dealing with contractors, which again, that's dealing with the people that I actually wholesale my properties to. Two is that now you're talking about buying, fixing, and flipping. So in most cases, some people will do the repairs themselves, but if you're hiring a contractor, that's the most difficult part of that part of the business, is having a good contractor so you don't get beat out of your money or whatever, because there's a lot of scammers out there, because a lot of people don't know what it costs to fix this or that or whatever. You can really get hustled out your money dealing with some shady contractors or whatever. So if you're going to deal in that side of the business, which is part of the reason why I don't or whatever, then you just have to be aware of that part of it, because that's probably the most part, the important part is, do you have a good crew to renovate your properties quickly, within a reasonable cost range. So, because it has to make sense to make money.
So would you suggest that when someone's first starting off to just to deal with the buyer and the seller, and just be like the middleman in between the two, so that they can kind of build up their cash value going forward? So when they're ready to do the contractor side, they'll have the investments already stacked up.
Well, in my opinion, yes, because what wholesaling will allow you to do, number one, is to be able to identify a great deal. You won't ever lose that. If you can consistently find great deals, great real estate deals, you don't ever have to be broke. But on the flip side of that, even if you make if you're doing actual flipping, meaning you're buying, fixing, and putting it back on the market so you can sell to a family or whatever, because you found a great deal or you purchased a great deal, even if you make mistakes, it doesn't normally put you out of the business. When I say mistakes, sometimes you may make a mistake on repair costs. You may didn't know that it needed some foundation work, which could drive your repair costs up tremendously or whatever. And so, because you found a great deal, you may not make as much money that you thought you were going to make. You just don't lose any money. That's what I'm always trying to present. Now, you may have wasted a lot of time or whatever if that's that situation, but that's part of the reason, outside of profit, a great deal is important. So if some mistakes are made, it doesn't kill you or whatever. So
doesn't break the bank. I love it.
I love that advice. That's awesome.
I feel like the safest way if you're starting is just being that middle ground. Like,
yeah, it just low risk, high reward. Again, people see the stuff that they see on HGTV. That's what they promote or whatever. And a lot of that, because I know the business, they have to make it entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as just cut and dry as they make it seem there. You know what I'm saying? Especially when people are starting out or whatever. So, but again, we can make money with both. It's just my preference is the other. Is just low risk, high reward, whereas the other one is high risk and can be high reward or whatever. So, but again, you make money with both. So
good stuff. So I noticed that you have a website. There's a ton of content there. So let them know, like, for people that are starting out, tell them where they can find this information and tell us what you have to offer.
Well, most of my information, which I have, they make jokes on because I have so many websites or whatever, and that just was a hobby of mine. So, when I come up with an idea that, try to help the business or what I promote or whatever, normally it's going to end up with a site or whatever. But the majority of my content, that you can just access is right there on my YouTube channel. If you do a search for Flipman, and just you'll see the logo, like you see behind me right here. You select that, and select the videos tab, and you just dive in. We do lives. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. If you go to any of those and just do a search for Ask Flipman, you can consume the content. But the real content, because you're limited on those platforms on how much time you have or whatever, is right there on YouTube. Because again, we do the live, even though I do daily lives that are on all of those platforms where we just answer questions pretty much Monday, Tuesday, well, really Monday through Friday, most days. I mean, most of those days. Sometimes we may be too busy with the real estate, actually doing deals that we might not get to do it or whatever. But I make it available that people can ask me personally questions through those platforms, even live. On top of that, If you look at the comment section of any of my YouTube videos, people have been asking questions for years, and I've been answering them for years.
That's
It's
awesome.
not we, but I actually answer those questions on a daily basis. So, I offer a lot out there. If someone really wants to do this, really no excuse if they really want to do it, because all of the information is there. You just have to put it out there and understand. A lot of people won't ever make a move because they're afraid to make a mistake. It doesn't have to be perfect to make money. That is one of the great things about this side of real estate. It doesn't have to be perfect for you to make money. Mistakes, we all want to limit, but when you make a mistake, you learn something that's more valuable than anything that I could probably teach you, because it's coming from experience or whatever. So I'm a big, big believer in taking action. Now, you do want to take advantage of all that content. Not saying you have to go through the 500 plus videos, by no means. You'll know when you're ready, but you do probably need to consume a good bit of it so you can understand what you're doing. The worst thing someone can do is to make a move out there and it doesn't work, and because they were not prepared. It's that simple. Give yourself the best chance to succeed by simply knowing what to do.
Right.
Doesn't get any more simple than that. So it's there on my YouTube channel, everything you really need to know or whatever. So just dive in.
Do you have any programs, like any courses, online courses that any of the audience members could take if they were interested?
Well, yes, I do actually offer step-by-step courses, which would speed up the process, along with me coaching you through unlimited deals. I do offer that as a paid option. If you're interested in pricing, you can always just go to my website, flipman.net, not .com, but flipman.net, and just tap the Flipman logo that you see behind me, and that'll take you over to the pricing page. But again, I like to make it clear to anyone that's watching this, you don't ever have to pay me anything. It's literally all there on my YouTube channel. It's not in any certain order by no means, but it's still all there. Many people have taken advantage of that, as I said earlier, and I've never even talked to them before. Again, the videos on YouTube, that's free to anyone. It just doesn't come with me.
Yeah.
Outside of what I do as far as the lives and the, responding to questions or whatever. Through the
Yeah,
comments.
like no kidding. There was one guy that complimented on one of the videos I was watching last night, and he made I think he said he made like $27,000, and I was like, just over watching these videos, and I'm like, this is free money out here. We're not even taking advantage of. So listen, guys, make sure you go to his YouTube channel. Just type in Flipman on Google. It's gonna pop up. All of his content is gonna pop up. Go to his website, check it out. Like I told you earlier, there's a lot of content there. He just explained he has courses, guys, for purchase. So I mean, it beats going to go get a loan officer license that's costs like $600-700 when you can go check out his prices and see what he has to offer. And again, it's coming from experience. So keep that in mind. So Asia, do you have any closing words?
Just thank you so much for being here and allowing us to tap into your mind and your thought process so that we can get our money up.
For a lack of a better word. This post-COVID-19, we need this. So thank you so much for everything that you do for the community, for everyone. I mean, we're talking, you're educating everybody. You know what I mean? And so I'm just grateful to have somebody like you that is out there who actually cares about people and their finances, because God knows we all need help right now. So thank you again, Mr. Taylor. It's been an honor to have you on the show, and we can't wait to have you back.
No problem at all, ladies. I really appreciate you all inviting me.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
For everybody that tuned in today, we hope that we got to everybody's questions. I didn't see many, but I'm sure we'll get some after this video. So just make sure you go to Flipman's YouTube. Type in the comment section. There's a lot you can learn from the people that watch his video alone. I'm telling you, it's just information coming from all directions. So I hope you guys enjoyed this segment on the King's edition of the Sistas Talk podcast. We'll see you again next week. We have another guest on Sunday, Miss Archie. So don't miss that podcast on Sunday. It's 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye, guys.